This is one of, when I didn't just start just hating women or feminists or whatever, It was a very gradual process. My country likes to control everything. It's either a socialist country. And when I was very young, I used to be interested in girls. When I was really young, I wanted to be friends with them. And I knew all the kids back in primary school, when they said, oh, girls are smelly and girls have got cooties and all that, I know, can you even listen to yourself? Do you hear yourself? Because I know the moment you get into secondary school, you're going to switch sides faster than a canary flying through the Canary Islands. And suddenly it'll switch round, and girls will suddenly start looking pretty nice, You'll start doing anything the girls say. I grew up in a village, so everyone knew everyone. There was no worry about who was seeing who. But when the schools started getting into it, oh my goodness, this kid, he's interested in girls. We need to get social services down here straight away. And I spent the next 5 years going from that primary up to secondary, halfway through secondary, seeing psychologists and being examined and having brainwave scans and them putting me in one-way mirror rooms and asking, putting me with toys, trying to figure out how I act, And the only way I was acting was like a child. I didn't know any better. I was just following what was inside. And it was then I began to realize that people didn't want me near girls. People didn't want me dating girls. They didn't want me anywhere near them, Grown-ups threatening kids and all that. Stay away from my daughter or there'll be repercussions. You come round here, I'm going to beat you good. He was seeing my daughter or no one was around. How can that be? And I ended up learning, I was conditioned not to socialize with girls. That's what I learnt. That was the eventual lesson they taught me, was that if you go near a girl, if you start getting friendly with her, there'll be questions, people will be upset, they might throw you out of school, they might deal with you some way, they might throw you in jail, or, worse yet, her boyfriend, who is her boyfriend, not her real boyfriend, just the one she decided to aim for so she can prove she's pretty, will come after you, or the white knights around her, or just anyone she feels like, because suddenly she feels like swapping partners, because you're an old toy, you need to be thrown away. And I understood this. My best friend, who I went through thick and thin with, understood this. He was the only intelligent person I had to talk to back then. All the other kids who were interested in Beavis and Butthead weren't realizing that Beavis and Butthead was betraying them. They were laughing at the animators insulting them. They had no idea, of course. To them it was, oh yeah man, Beavis and Butthead, so funny, idiots. Can you believe that? Can you believe people didn't realize that they were watching something that was insulting them? That's just how stupid people were back then. And so I pretty much learnt to stay away from girls, and for a small period of time I blamed myself, and a bit of feminist indoctrination went a bit further, and then I learnt, it was shortly after I entered sixth form, I learnt about real history. I was using the internet. The internet was becoming a bigger thing now, and we could use the internet, and I started learning, and I realized I wasn't being told the whole picture. I wasn't being told the whole truth. And it was then I started realizing that I should be careful about how I act around women, because they could get me in a lot of trouble. And that's what I'd learned as a child, but I hadn't tied the knots. I hadn't made the links then. And ever more so as I've been going through my life, I've been studying more and more. And I've been going on to different subjects: philosophy, ethics, economics, world history. I'm beginning to understand just how broken people are, just how sick they are. Sick individuals who have no morals, who watch all of this torture porn like it's some sort of game. I remember speaking to this kid, this was Indonesia, and I was trying to tell him, don't hit other kids. I was being very gentle about it, and he just looked at me with the blankest of stares, like a serial murderer. And in Indonesia, they love their horror movies. They have no sense of empathy. None. And I've given up on them. I realized I don't need to get revenge against them. I used to think like that. I used to think, gosh, I hate these people so much. I need to start a petition. I need to do something about it. And actually, they will ruin themselves. I've seen it. All of the people I hate, they've become murderers, they've gone into jail, they become psychopaths, they work in the spa, they don't have any ambitions, they don't have a future. Take my brother. Ever since I was young, I knew he had the sense of just complete narcissism and a complete user. And I didn't play on that. I tried to show him the right way. I tried to sort of give him some hints, but he's just become such a Marxist, socialist user. He goes on about working hard and, oh, Joe, you're not doing enough work, and Joe, what you're doing, all that learning is a complete waste of time. And it's like, well, Harry, I'm learning life skills here, I'm moving forward with my life. And he realizes that I'm actually in a much better position than he'll probably ever be. I have a job I love. I'm going to a country I love just because I acted like a little good robot for the government. And I'm going to say bon voyage as soon as possible as I can. I'm not interested in taking down the government, man. Oh, we need to protest and we need to stop the corrupt bankers and all that. The time will come when they get their end. And you don't need to attack the government. You don't need to do anything about the government because it will fall without you moving a limb. You just need to watch it. You just need to sit back, relax, and just watch people fail. That's all you need to do. Because they're so useless. They're so pathetic. They look at me and they think, wow, you must have had a really, really, amazing life. You're so privileged. I didn't write a single correct sentence until I was about 18. I was writing, when I was very young, but my brain just wasn't cut out for it. And now I'm an English teacher. That's how far I've come. I've beaten my biggest foe. I have struggled hard. I've worked hard on my English. And soon I'll work hard on my mathematics, work harder, even harder. And I'm going to learn the best way to study shapes and to study measurement. And I'm going to work hard at it. I'm going to learn coding. And I am learning coding at the moment. Because I want to push myself. Because I want to become a better person than I am today. And these other people, they're not interested in that. My brother isn't interested in that. His room is a state. He never tidies his room. He's not interested in discipline as much as he talks about it. As much as he goes on and on and on about being a hard worker and all that, my mum is a taxi to him. My poor mother, who is a maid to him, she knows that. She knows she has to kick him out when he reaches 16. No, when he reaches 18. 2 more years. 2 more years of that waster coming in here. Taking drugs, lying to my mum. A couple nights ago, he told me how much he realized of a mistake he had made making friends. He realized they were users who were just taking money from him. And I told him that years ago.